I definitely feel like university has, sort of altered my sort of perspective of what I want my career to be in. Before coming to university, I was very strict in what I wanted my career to look like. Even though I'm only in first year, I can see now that it's really, really important to sort of keep your sort of mind open about what you want to do. But also I've realised how much I actually enjoy academic work and researching, which is something I hadn't really considered before. So that is something that I'm going to potentially sort of look into as a career path later down the line.
I would really say that coming to university has helped me decide what direction I want to take my future in. Although I did have a vague idea of what sort of career I wanted to go into, which is obviously teaching, and I didn't know how to get there. And I did sort of speak to the careers team at York and also my supervisor, who really helped sort of me make decisions on how I was going to get where I wanted to be and sort of set out a planned route. I was also appointed to the York Student in School programme, which is run in careers, and I think that this was really a turning point for me in my decision making process for my future. And this was sort of a placement that I did once a week for 8 weeks, and it really finalised that I wanted to teach in secondary school. So yes, I would say that university and the opportunities that it brings has really solidified and finalised where I want to be in my future.
So I think the great thing about university, apart from all the degree and the student life and the societies, etc., is that you actually get to do different modules. You get to, say, for me at least, do genetics and development and microbiology and chemistry and biology and very specific specialisms, which allows you to see what you enjoy and then go into that. So for me, I really enjoy immunology and infection, so I've decided to go into that in research because of what I've seen in my modules, because I find it so interesting. And I think that's one of the advantages of courses at universities.
Coming to university helped me narrow down my career options. I wanted to work in museums when I came to university, but I wasn't entirely sure what that would entail or how I would get into that. My opinion hasn't changed. I still want to work in museums, but now I have a bit more of a concrete idea of what that would look like, how I would get there, and the skills that are needed for me to enter that career. I've met people who would help me get into that job. I've had experiences that would help me get into that job, and I have a much more solid idea of what I need to do, what type of person I need to be, and what type of person museums are looking for. So it hasn't changed, but I have a much more solid idea around it, and I'm much more confident that I can get into that career and that it is the right career for me.
Originally I wanted to work in the law enforcement sector, specifically probably in the police. However, as I said, my mind has changed quite a lot since being shown all of the opportunities that the careers team has offered to me as a first year. So now I'm thinking probably more towards the law sector, specifically commercial law.
So I think for me personally, university has really positively influenced and helped me decide what I would like to do in the future for definite. And this is because just by studying something that I'm really passionate about, which was in my undergraduate, environmental science, it's really shown me what is out there and what I can do with my degree. So if I, for whatever reason, felt conservation wasn't for me, I've learnt that there are other routes that I can take. So I could even go into academia if I wanted to. I could go into environmental consultancy. The possibilities are really endless, but I know for real that I definitely want to go into conservation, so it's reassured that. But I wouldn't have known that if I didn't speak to my mentors at university, the staff, and even just my friends and other students to help me figure out that this is actually what I want to do. So I'm grateful for that.
Well, yes, in many ways it has. I've studied numerous modules at university, and that has sort of helped me to identify exactly what it is that I enjoy doing, and also exactly what I don't enjoy doing. But there's also been a bit of a added sort of bonus in some ways. So I've studied modules that before coming to university I didn't even really knew existed, and so now that's another thing to think about. So in some ways it's helped me, but in other ways it's made it a little bit more confusing, as now I've got more choice and I'm not very good at choosing.